It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called Merry Motorfest, and this is my summit guide. Let's go! All right, let's get straight into it. The cars this week are the Bugatti Veyron Barchetta Velvet Edition. Most of these are loaned, by the way. 1, 2, 3 loaned, 4 loaned cars. The Barchetta Velvet Edition is a loaned car. Then we have the Lamborghini Temerario, which is a loaned vehicle as well. The Lamborghini Centenario Roadster, also a loaned vehicle. And the 911 GT3 RS, also a loaned vehicle. So you're not going to have parts for any of those cars. In addition to that, you're going to need a couple of cars for this summit. The first one is the RS6. This is the RS6 Avant. You either have to have this RS6 or you can have the RS6 Yanamai's edition, but you got to have an RS6. I think there's one more edition as well, but I don't have it right in front of me. Anyways, you got to have an RS6 in order to compete. The last car is the McLaren P1. You're going to need one of those as well for a couple of events. And that is it for the cars. Here are the rewards for this week. We got 10,000 spare parts for bronze, 10 legend points for silver, the Bugatti Veyron Barchetta Velvet Edition, which by the way is a summit exclusive car. It's also in the prestige ticket shop. Don't spend your prestige tickets on it because they're basically giving it away on the gold reward here. So just compete in the summit, try to get at least gold. You'll get this car for free. If not, it's in the prestige ticket store. So there you go. And then the Mele Kalikimaka Underglow, which is like a Hawaiian Christmas underglow, which is great. So there's that. Here are the pro settings for all of the cars that I just mentioned, and then we'll get into the events. All right, the first event is with the Velvet Edition Barchetta, and this one's got a few cuts in it, so let's just fast forward to those. I love all the candy canes and the designs here. Wish we had more of that on the rest of the races. First tip here is on the jump, stay to the right of the checkpoint. You see the checkpoint on this side, you're going to turn a little bit to the right because the hill throws you to the left. So anyways, a little bit of tip there. And then we go around this corner. You're going to use NOS to get some speed. And as we're approaching this one, you're going to go through the right arrow. There's 3 arrows there. Go through the right one and slow down. You're going to use the brakes. So you're going to hit this staircase here. It's going to throw you to the left. So be aiming more to the right. So you want to aim more to the right. It's going to throw you a little bit left. Obviously, you don't want to go too fast because it's going to shoot you over this checkpoint. So I hit it at about, let's see. I was doing 150 before I hit the stairs. So boom, through the checkpoint, turn the car to the right, bounce off the wall, and make the turn. Now, I think that's pretty much it. This turn is, you got to be real patient here. NOS, 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 turn right. When you get to the end here, you can drift this corner. I went way too late. You got to drift it on the sidewalk. Do it early. Start the drift early, because if not, you're going to do this and tap the wall, which loses you a little bit of speed. It should look more like this. So here's my second lap. I drifted a little earlier, across the sidewalk there. Was able to finish it up like that. Anyways, that's it. Let's move on. All right, the next race is with the 911 GT3 RS, and this is all highway. So if you have a slipstream partner, you're going to get a good score. Probably almost 10 seconds difference between having slip and non-slip, which means a lot of points. Now, obviously, this whole race is about NOS management. So let your NOS get all the way to the top, then start using it as you go up this first hill, and don't use the whole tank anywhere because you want to make sure you have enough of it. Anyways, this is all slipstream, man. This is a slipstream course. Let's move on. All right, the next race is with the loaned Centenario. This is nice, man. The car feels pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be like meta or whatever. I still have to test it. Anyways, there's a couple of cuts here, so let's fast forward to the cuts. The first one is going to be here at about 19%. You kind of go to the left a little, then cut back right after the wall. Air NOS, then go over this dirt, try to stay left, and then hit this gutter. It's important to hit this gutter because it sets you up for this long straight with a lot more speed. Let's fast forward here. The next cut is the one at the jump. So it's going to happen right over here at about 65%. You want to set it up to the left. Go ahead and drift into it. Stay to the left. Make sure you're holding left on the steering. You want to hit this rock right kind of in the center or on the left side. But basically, you want to try to regain with the road. So you hit this rock and use NOS in the air, a lot of it. Try to stay close to the road if you can, and you're on your way. The next cut is kind of towards the end here. It's this last little hump. I did it poorly in this clip, but my ghost did it better. Notice he was pointing to the left. He kind of went up the hill a little bit. I didn't. And I ended up in the grass here and losing a little bit of control of the car. So try to make sure you stay to the left on that little hill cut. All right, let's move on. All right, this next one is the brand new Temerario, and this is basically just Kiss Me Combi. So if you've never tried Kiss Me Combi, then you won't know what I'm talking about here, but there's nothing on this race other than slipstream and one cut at the end. So let me just fast forward to that. This whole thing is just basically straight. I mean, there's little curves, but you can go, you know, fairly fast through here. All right, as you approach this very end with the gas station, you're gonna cut left, or turn left, excuse me, then cut right into the grass. You're looking for these two trees that's the shape of a V here in the distance, kind of near the checkpoint here. I'm gonna go just to the left of those trees and reset when you get to the checkpoint flag and accelerate to the finish. Very easy, very simple. You guys can do it. Just a little bit of practice on the cut. All right, let's move on. All right, the next race is with the RS6. I'm using the Yanamai's edition. I'm going to show you my second lap, because I think it was a little bit better than the first one. This one is pretty easy. There's a couple of small things that you can do. Let me fast forward here. We'll go through this little cut. On this turn here, I drifted it on the second lap. The first lap, you're not going as fast, but the second lap, you're basically top speed. So I think drifting it is probably the best option. You can slow down and take this turn, but it'll drop your speed to about 110 or slightly less than that. And 110 around the whole corner is not as fast as what you're going to see here, which is 160, 130, all the way down to 105 at the very end. But immediately after that, up to 133. So I think it's definitely better to drift it on the second lap. Anyways, let's move on to the next cut here. This is all normal. And then when you get to here, you should be, you know, on the NOS trying to get up to speed, but don't use all of it. So get to 8th here, blast the NOS to get going, but don't use all of it. Now for this jump, it's a little tricky. You want to stay left and then barely point your car to the right. Just barely, just like this. And then in the air, you're going to turn the car. You notice the car turned? Watch this. In the air, car turns. And I NOS at the same time. So we hit the jump, car turns, NOS a little bit, and keep the car turning. You keep a lot of speed that way. You don't want to hit the wall. You don't want to hit the trees. You cut the corner here, and you can make this corner. I was out of control there. Now, when you see these two red pillars here, these two red buildings, you're going to go to the left of the second, the left building. Now, I'm not convinced that this is like faster. It was for me when I was doing the runs, but I think if you take the turn normally at a very good angle and you really keep good speed, it might be faster to just take the corner normally. So, but you can do this reset if you'd like. So you go around here, reset at the building, and then it leaves you right here, nice and straight. So then you can, accelerate around. Up here, you're going to use some NOS in the air like always. And then get ready for this corner here. You got 6th gear is probably the best here. Heavy braking. Get around the corner and then NOS to the finish. Let's move on. All right, the next race is with the McLaren P1. This one's a little bit technical in the beginning, and then it kind of like gets crazy highways towards the end. Strongly recommend a slipstream partner for this as well. So that's 3 races in this summit that you should have a slipstream partner. So hopefully you have some friends that you can do it with. Anyways, there's a few cuts here at the beginning, so let's talk about that. This first one, I would take the gutter maybe a little bit off-road to avoid the bots. Just get around them. Get in the gutter here, and then you're going to go around this tree on the right side here. Around the tree and up the hill. Now, don't hit these telephone poles. They slow you down quite a bit. I think I could have done that a little bit faster. We're going to cut that corner by the gas station, as you saw. And then we're going to fast forward here real quick until we get to this corner at about 10%. You're going to take this corner and go down the hill. And notice you have the checkpoint on top of the bridge. You can actually go through that checkpoint underneath it. So that's exactly what I did. I went through the checkpoint underneath it, regained with the road here on the left. Just a little bit faster than having to slow down and make the turn. Now, it kind of spreads out here. You got a little bit of highway, a couple of turns, and then this is where slipstream really would be fantastic. So you have a really long straight here on the highways. Yeah, slipstream would be great here. Now, when you get closer to this part here, 71, you can take this shortcut across the hill. You want to go more to the right. I went way too far left and ended up in the grass here. I didn't lose too much speed, but it was enough to where I would want to redo it. And I think that's actually the last cuts here. I think there's only a couple turns, yeah, through these tunnels, and you're finished. Yep. All right, let's move on. All right, for the slalom, you need to have a score breaker set of parts with skilled and pure. I mean, you don't have to have pure, just skilled. Score breaker and skilled, those are what you need. If you have those parts, you're going to get a good score. If you don't have those parts, you're not going to get a good score. Obviously, don't miss any of the gates. Go slower to miss the gate, to make the gates. You need that multiplier. So anyways, that is really it. Let's move on to the next one. All right, for this escape, we got the P1. There's a couple of different ways you can go, and I'll pause it up here when it's the decision time for you guys. So you're going to go here across this bridge, and this is about where you need to make your decision. You got to either go left, and your visual cue of these two trees here, you go just to the left of those two trees. And when you do that, you use air nos here. When you hit this jump, you're pointing your car to the right and up. So right and up, you want to make it onto the highway. So that's what your goal is here. That's option one. That one will get you the biggest score, the longest distance. But if you don't want to do that, you can look on the mini map here. You have this sort of S road that's down below. You can jump down onto that if you want, and then you can sort of drive that around. That one also is an option, but you're going to eventually need to hit a jump and go straight along the highway, because otherwise you won't be able to get to 6,500. Your goal should be 6,500 yards. That'll get you basically a full score. Basically, all the roads lead towards the highway, because the highway is the fastest, straightest way away from this. So if you can jump on it, this is the way to do it. If you can't jump on it, I feel for you, but this is what it looks like. So go here, jump onto the highway, and then just start driving on the highway. When you get to the end of the highway, you can actually go off of it here. There's a broken little spot in the highway. You can drop down onto this road and continue on straight, and this will get you, you know, probably an extra 1,000 yards. You go through here, and then when you get to the end, I just jumped off into the water, and that's it. All right, let's move on to the speed trap. All right, the speed trap is kind of annoying because it's another jump one, but that's every speed trap. A little tip here: when you need to go to the other side of the speed trap, you could just go off road, but like it's so much easier if you just pause it as you go through the speed trap. So just be rolling here, pause it, and then unpause it, and it won't count. So that's how you get through it without having to, like, you know, avoid it. Anyways, you're gonna go up this hill, and if you can't get up the hill, use your NOS. Use all of it if you have to. And just like this, I ran out of NOS. You can just press start, and then like just back out of the menu, you get a full tank of NOS. Start, back out, full tank of NOS. And you're gonna use that strategy on the jump as well. So we get up here, turn around, and you're gonna be going through these trees here along this road. You're gonna jump off of this cliff right here, and you're gonna use that same strategy right before you jump off the cliff. You're going to pause and unpause so you can get your full tank of NOS, and then you're just gonna fly towards the speed trap just like that. Make sure you rewind, and you're not like starting over every time. Just rewind if it's not a good run. You're not gonna hit it, just rewind. And a good run looks like this. I think this is the one. Yes. So I rewound into 8th, and then we fly using NOS this whole time. And the key is you got to hit the speed trap in the air. If you let the car land first, then the car loses a lot of speed as it goes through the speed trap. So my best is a 323. This particular shot was a 307, but the difference is about 800 points. So there you go. All right, here are my final scores. If you have any questions about this summit or anything on the channel, just send me a DM on Instagram or Discord. I read every single message that comes my way. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.